Well, welcome to today's edition of the At Show. I'm sorry, we've not been very regular in doing these shows, but this is the second in a series on input and peripherals relating to computer technology, particularly the Windows environment. So today's particular show is concerning joysticks and on-screen keyboards. Let's first deal with joysticks. What is a joystick related to a computer? Well, they can come in all kinds of varieties. I will try and show you some that are around, but this is the one I've got. I've had this for quite a number of years, and it came from a company called Traxxas. You can still get them, and if you notice, there is a handle at the top here, a button type thing, and this is self-centering. So when I move it, it flips back into the right area. So you've got that, but you can also have different handles. You can have a claw handle or a tennis ball, and these are all ways that you can actually control the computer and enable a better access point. And of course there are buttons on the screen here: left click, right click, and this locks the plane into a horizontal and a vertical line. So there are lots of different tools that you can use. Right at the end are slots here, and these are for switches, and they relate to the buttons and colors on the top here. So you can use a switch to actually do the left click and the right click and the other clicks as well, and the middle bit. What we've got is a USB device. So this can be put onto your computer. It's got quite a lengthy cable, so it can stretch out to wheelchairs and the like. So there's my USB connection. You can get Bluetooth ones, and you can also get infrared ones as well. So there's a variety of different devices that you can use. So to connect it, I'll just plug it in, and you will hear the connecting noise when it's switched on. There are no softwares to use. There's the bong, and I'm using a Windows 10 machine. So I'm just going to put that to one side. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and switch on the on-screen keyboard, because I want to demonstrate how this is used. But first of all, what kind of conditions and needs would a joystick be useful? Well, obviously, it's cerebral palsy that might well be, or those with physical difficulties, I should say, who can't naturally use the operations of a mouse. And one of the telltale signs is being able to move the mouse, and then when you try and click, it just moves off somewhere. That's why these key guards are really important, because with ataxia and some tremors that are associated with different physical conditions, this just enables the finger to slide over and press through the key guard. This is called a key guard, and it just gives that extra function. It's one of the simplest peripheral devices, one I often recommend as the second one next to trackables, to enable people to access the computer and to be able to move around. I'll just see if I've got a trackable available for you to have a look at. Yeah, I think I put it away, which is a great shame. Try and see if I can bring it out at some point. But the trackball is similar to the joystick. Maybe we'll cover that in another session. So we're all ready to go. Let's click the share button, and we will go and have a look at the operating system and how this works. So hopefully you can see my whole screen now. Yeah. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go and put on the on-screen keyboard, because the joystick app works extremely well with an on-screen keyboard, and it enables the student or pupil to never access the keyboard, but to be able to access it via the joystick. So that cuts out all problems that you've got with a keyboard that's laid out in a laptop fashion, because you can't get a keyboard with a laptop guard because there's so many different makes. It just will not work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into settings, and we'll click on settings, and we'll type in on-screen keyboard. So you can see the option down below, turn on the on-screen keyboard on and off. And in Windows 10, this has become a very useful tool to use. In this section, there are various different physical options that you can change to make the keyboard on the screen or on the laptop much more accessible. And I'm just going to turn this on, and here is the keyboard. I'm then going to launch Microsoft Word, and we'll put that up. I've clicked on the bottom, which you can't see at the moment. So raise that up a little bit, and we'll go into a blank document. And we'll make it a little bit bigger again so that you can see what's happening. So what I should have said about the joystick is that there are various different joysticks that you can get, some of which have speed controls so that you can adjust the speed of travel across the screen, which can be very helpful for those with physical difficulties where their conditions change from day to day, and their functions might be different. So they might want to be able to slow down the pointer movement or increase it, depending on the fine detail in the work they're doing. So from now on, I'm going to use my joystick. So you can see I can travel in any direction at will. It's not limited in any way. So I just want to, as it were, start with a sentence. So I'm now going to press the left mouse button. That switches on the shift key, hiring up the caps, so I can type W. Now, I have switched on the keyboard version of the word prediction, which you probably can't see at your end, or you may. Also, we've got word prediction on the screen, on the keyboard itself. So we're going to just use the word we. So again, I can move across to that, right? I'm going to say we are looking at joysticks today, or rather we are looking at joysticks. So the next word is are, and you can see that that's the first option on the screen. And this makes writing very much quicker for people. As it's predicting the writing, it's cutting down the amount of keys that we're trying to adjust with. And the joystick means that my eyes are constantly on the screen. And that is an important feature as well. So I've used this a lot with pupils with limited movement, with those with conditions that make using the common mouse very difficult to use. So it can speed up the writing process, particularly if you get the right word. So I'm looking for joysticks now. So is it going to find it on the third letter? Word prediction works like that. And it's got somebody's email address up there. Sorry about that. Wasn't expecting that to arrive. We're looking at joysticks. Now you notice that I haven't got a plural there. So I'm just going to delete back one space and put an S in. Yeah, that's it. And then put a space in after that, because you'll notice when I type a word in and click on the word, it puts the space in automatically for me. So today, that's the final bit of our words. So I'm just going to write to today. Now the keyboard I'm looking at contains all the functions of the keyboard that you would normally find. There's no reduction of that. Some other options can be very limiting because they only have a few of the keys on there. I'm thinking big keyboards. And but I've got everything I need to do that work, including things like brackets or whatever I wish to put up there, and the arrow keys as well. So there's our sentence, and that is a demonstration of how you can use the joystick to control the computer and to make writing. And obviously I can use that keyboard with emails and all kinds of other things as well. They're all accessible through this means, which is brilliant. And it's a very effective tool. Now, can you do this with other operating systems? Well, with a Bluetooth joystick, you could do this with an iPad. You can certainly do it with a Chromebook as well. So the joystick is very generic in what it can be used with. The Chromebooks also have on-screen keyboards. And of course, the iPad uses an on-screen keyboard to access most of its work there. I must say I haven't tried a joystick with an iPad. And if anybody has, please let me know how you got on with that. But this is a really brilliant device for people who struggle with the normal mouse. And so it's an alternative input to the mouse. So that concludes our brief session on joysticks and on-screen keyboard and its use in terms of being an alternative method for people to do what everybody wants to do. So thank you for watching. Tune in for next week's episode of The At Show. Goodbye for now.